CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Cincinnati won the toss. They deferred. Miami will receive. So Ryan Tannehill getting set to take the field.
Yeah, really two things he has to do today, Marv. He's got to be able to handle Cincinnati's pressure packages. I'm sure that Mike Zimmer is going to come after the rookie quarterback on the road. And he's got to take care of the football in and out of the pocket. The turnovers the last couple of weeks have been really hurting this Dolphins team.
First-year player from Indiana, Marcus Thigpen, back deep. He averages 25 yards a return, which is 5th in the NFL. And this is Mike Nugent, 8-year man from Ohio State, who has been strong on kickoffs throughout his career. Bengals looking to make it 4 straight wins. Wins over the Browns and Redskins in a shootout at Washington last week, 27-10. Victory at Jacksonville just after their opening day loss to the Ravens. And the kick booted into the end zone, and Thigpen will stay right there. So look at the Dolphins up front. Offensive line anchored by Mike Pouncey, first-round draft pick from Florida last year. Backs and receivers. Miami needing more from Reggie Bush, who is banged up and was held to just 67 yards rushing last week at Arizona. But the Dolphins say he had a good week of practice and should be in better shape physically. That's Bush as the lone setback. And Reggie gets the call and is gang tackled, led by the free safety Reggie Nelson. Picked up a couple. A look at the defensive front four with defensive tackle Geno Atkins with 5 sacks for the season. The linebackers Vontaze Burfict, rookie out of Arizona State, outstanding last week against the Jaguars. And the secondary is still injury hit, but Nate Clements is back and he's at the safety position. Reggie Bush tried to string it out and could not. Terrence Newman, the left corner, is there, and it's a 2-yard loss.
Well, they had too many negative runs last week. You look at Reggie Bush trying to bounce this one to the edge. They ran the ball so well the first 3 weeks. Not so good last week against Arizona. I didn't get the sense, Marv, that Reggie Bush was 100%. He missed some practice time a week ago. They need Reggie Bush to have a big day against this Cincinnati defense.
3rd and 10 now for Tannehill on the Dolphins. Daniel Thomas, second-year player from Kansas State, now in the backfield. And Tannehill is taken down. Michael Johnson, the 6'7" right defensive end.
Well, you get a look at Michael Johnson, the bottom of your screen there. He's just going to be working on Jake Long. A little stunt. He works back up inside. Richie Incognito and Jake Long don't do a good enough job passing it off. And you see they get Tannehill on the ground.
Sack number 17 on the season for the Bengals. That's Adam Pac-Man Jones awaiting the punt from Brandon Fields. Fields back at his 2. So an excellent start defensively for the Bengals. Carries out of bounds inside the 40, a 45-yard punt. And here comes Andy Dalton, the second-year man from Texas Christian.
Yeah, Marvin, he hasn't exactly gotten off to a fast start the last couple of weeks. He's got an interception here against Washington. Rob Jackson intercepts Dalton in the end zone for a touchdown. Last week at Jacksonville, Kyle Bosworth intercepts the Dalton pass but fumbles the ball back to the Bengals. It's been a real problem, and it's something he's very aware of. He needs to start better early in games.
And Jarvis Green Ellis in the backfield. Bengals open with a double tight end along with Jermaine Gresham. They have Dennis Rowland, who is normally a left guard. Dalton could not find anyone, and he is taken down. It's Randy Starks. Looked like the ball was put on the ground, but it is whistled. Starks with his 4th sack of the season for Miami.
Well, they come out being aggressive with a little bit of a play action, trying to fool this Miami secondary. They're not going for it. Just really nice job by Starks and Soliai inside, getting good push on the pocket. Well, that ball comes out. It's tough to tell whether his knee is down or not. Maybe one they take a look at upstairs.
And the referee, Walt Coleman, saying that he was in the grasp, although it is being challenged. Apparently, the referee, Walt Coleman, said immediately that Dalton was within the grasp, so it may not be challenged.
Play is not reviewable. The quarterback was ruled in the grasp. 2nd down.
Another look at it.
He still has the ball there. Now it's coming out. I'd have to go along with Walt Coleman. I think he's in the grasp. They treat quarterbacks differently, you know, in this business for some reason.
You know, you and Walt, about 3 hours before game time, had a very emotional get-together.
Reunion.
There is some history there, though. Green Ellis in the backfield on the handoff. Gets to the 33, met by Cameron Wake. And a look at the Bengals, their offensive line featuring the 6'7", 330-pound Andrew Whitworth at left tackle, one of the top left tackles in the NFL. Backs and receivers, wideout A.J. Green looks to be headed to a 2nd straight Pro Bowl. Leads the AFC in catches and 2nd in receiving yards to Miami's Brian Hartline. 3rd down back Brian Leonard has come on for the Bengals. Out of the gun. Dalton again in trouble. And then fires one deep downfield that is nearly picked off. Off the double coverage, A.J. Green, the intended receiver, and the 6'3" left corner, Sean Smith, able to get a piece of it. Sean Smith did a good job last week on Larry Fitzgerald of the Cardinals.
Well, you got to be careful here. Dalton never feels the backside corner, Nolan Carroll, and that's just a dangerous throw late down the middle of the field from Andy Dalton.
Well, Kevin Huber into punt. And they let him roll. Was it touched as it carried out of bounds? Cincinnati claiming it's their ball. It's a 41-yard punt. And it will be Cincinnati ball. Looks like Burfict came up with the recovery after it was touched.
The ball was touched by the receiving team, recovered by the kicking team. 1st down.
Once it's touched, it's a live ball.
Well, you got to look at Rashad Jones. It hits him in the back. That's just a really good alert play there by Vontaze Burfict. Knowing that it hit Rashad Jones in the back.
Vontaze Burfict, weak side linebacker, had a stellar game last week. Led the Bengals, 8 tackles, had a sack, also seeing special teams duty. And apparently this will be reviewed. The challenge flag coming out. All right, Rich, that was not a team challenge because under the new rules, all turnovers are reviewable from upstairs.
Right, clearly hits Rashad Jones. Now what we've got to decide is whether or not Vontaze Burfict had control of the ball before he goes out of bounds. Keep an eye on his right shoulder. See, he still doesn't quite have it yet. The ball's moving around, and then that right shoulder hits the out of bounds line, and you can see I don't know that they're going to give him possession.
All right, here's the referee, Walt Coleman, with the decision.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Whoa.
It's my guy Walt Coleman again. Look at Joe Philbin. He can't believe it.
And this is what he can't believe, the fact that it was ruled that Burfict did have possession before rolling out of bounds.
Well, I guess I see the ball moving there, and I don't know what Walt Coleman's looking at. You can see the surprise on the face of Joe Philbin as well. He's got coaches up in the booth looking at the same pictures we're looking at.
On the turnover, Cincinnati 1st and 10 at the Miami 26-yard line, and the play is whistled dead. Flag is down.
False start, number 71, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
It is on the right tackle, Andre Smith. Well, Miami defensively. Up front, Cameron Wake with a breakout 4.5 sacks last week at Arizona. The linebackers, Carlos Dansby leading the Dolphins in total tackles. And in the secondary, Nolan Campbell, 3-year man from Maryland, starting at right corner for the injured Richard Marshall. For Carroll, only his 5th NFL start. It is a 1st and 15. Green Ellis, who had a couple of fumbles last week. Randy Starks on the tackle.
Boy, you take a look at this Miami football team. They've had Cincinnati's been on the roll the last 3 weeks, and scoring certainly hasn't been a problem. Probably the best thing they're doing defensively is getting after the quarterback. The 16 sacks are the second most in the NFL right now, and they've got outstanding young talent on the offensive side of the ball, led by Andy Dalton and a couple other Pro Bowlers, and A.J. Green and Jermaine Gresham as well.
2nd and long. Dalton sidearms, and a nice catch made by Binns. Armand Binns picking up 7, stopped by Sean Smith. And right here, we're set for an NFL update. Let's go to JB and Boomer.
Boomer, did the rookie kind of brag before this game? Well, it's Trenton Richardson. Look at what we have here, JB. It's a first quarter touchdown by the Browns, their first of the season. That comes after an Ahmad Bradshaw fumble for the Giants. 7-0 Cleveland over the Giants.
Trent said he could run on the Giants. We'll see what happens the rest of the way. Marv and Rich.
All right, JB, 3rd down and 8 as we resume here in Cincinnati. Leonard is in the backfield. Dalton over the middle. It is incomplete. Off the mark, intended for Andrew Hawkins, the 5'7" slot receiver who has been very successful.
Well, the problem that Andy Dalton has here is he's got a big, tall offensive line in front of him and a very small receiver. And you look at the Dolphins, they have been very, very good at getting off the field on 3rd down. Teams are converting just 29% of their 3rd down opportunities against this defense.
Mike Nugent will attempt a 42-yard field goal. He is 7 for 7 for the season as an angle to the left. And this one is good. And this all set up by the recovered fumble on the punt. Burfict able to get to it. Bengals up 3-zip.
It works with people. It works with cars. The Acura TL. Refined in a powerful way.
Introducing the Droid Razr M by Motorola with 4G LTE speed on an edge-to-edge display. Say hello to the full-screen phone.
Attention, well, everyone. You can now try Snapshot from Progressive free for 30 days. Just Just plug this into your car and your good driving can save you up to 30%. You can even try it without switching your insurance. Why not give it a shot? Carry on.
Now you can test drive Snapshot before you switch. Visit Progressive.com today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by the new Droid Razor M by Motorola. Say hello to the full-screen phone.
Well, the light rain has stopped, and it now looks like a beautiful day here at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. 3-0. Bengals up. Marcus Thigpen is back deep for the kick. Nugent puts it in the end zone again, and here's Thigpen running it out across the 20. Able to accelerate across the 25-yard line. Brought down by Dan Skuta. 27-yard return, and Miami back to the offense.
Well, Marv, Miami's had plenty of opportunities the last couple of weeks, really 2 plays away from being 3-1, but they have to learn to finish late in games, and nobody's had any success running the ball against this Miami defense. They've faced some really good backs in Arian Foster and Darren McFadden, to name a few, and finally, there's a big reason why they're just 1-3. It's the turnovers. The turnovers are killing them right now. They've got to get that cleaned up.
They start out from the 28. See Reggie Bush picking his way up to the 35-yard line, going for 7. More on the Giants and the Browns, JB and Boomer.
Boom, what's going on at MetLife?
Well, I don't know, but take a look at this. And who's trying to cover Josh Gordon as he goes 66 yards down the field? That's Chase Blackburn, the linebacker. 14-0. The Browns, a juggernaut.
Marv and Rich.
Go! Things going well in the state of Ohio here in the early moments, and that is complete for a first down. Brian Hartline with his 26th catch of the season. That's good for 16.
Well, they've got a rapport between Ryan Tannehill and Brian Hartline right now. Not a lot of in-breaking routes with Hartline, but boy, he does a nice job concentrating, knowing he's going to get hit by the safety across the middle of the field.
Hey, 255.
First down at midfield for the Dolphins. Tannehill working out of the gun. Get the handoff to Bush, and he's hit back behind the line. Michael Johnson, the right defensive end, able to make the stop.
Well, negative runs were a problem last week for Reggie Bush, and talking to Joe Philbin last night, he said, look, when you don't practice, you don't come out and play well. Even a veteran back like Reggie Bush needs the reps in practice, and so I just got the sense last week he was a little rusty. He was looking for the home run every time he got the ball.
Sets it back to a 2nd and 11. Tannehill again able to complete. This time it is Bush coming out of the backfield for a first down. 21-yard gain. Nat Clements, the strong safety, making the stop.
Well, they've got to find a way to get Reggie Bush more involved in the passing game. You see him matched up on the linebacker there, and that's the matchup that the Dolphins want to take advantage of.
Daniel Thomas has come on for Reggie Bush. First down at the Cincinnati 29. Good protection for Tannehill, able to complete once again as Hartline making his 2nd catch of the day. Manny Lawson on the tackle. Brian Hartline has been superb despite missing most of training camp with a calf injury and appendectomy back in June. In fact, Hartline could not hold down food for 12 days, lost 25 pounds in the process during the offseason, and making it back strong without training camp. Nice hole for Bush, this time running through the tackles, and has a first down.
And you see that previous play, the Dolphins do a good job jumping the ball with their up-tempo offense. I had a chance to go down and watch them in training camp, and they learned to practice and play fast in training camp. Essentially, they had 2 practices going on at the same time, with the 1s and the 2s in the same field going in an opposite direction. I think it was a real benefit for the young players to get more reps. It was amazing to see the coaches going back and forth between the 2 groups.
And that's all you'd hear from Joe Philbin at practice. Play fast, play fast. Here's the screen. Clay able to find the opening. Charles Clay, second-year player from Tulsa, stopped by Chris Crocker, a recent addition to the Cincinnati roster. In fact, playing his first game of the season for the Bengals, re-signed by Cincinnati with all the problems in the secondary, came up with an interception last week, and for the Bengals, it is their only interception of the season. Penalty marker is down.
First, team timeout.
And a timeout is called by Cincinnati. 6:41 left in this opening quarter. All right, prior to the start of the game, Miami defensive coordinator and one-time Bengals defensive backs coach Kevin Coyle, he was here for a decade, getting together with Mike Zimmer, the current defensive coordinator for the Bengals. Kevin Coyle with a lot of friends on the Cincinnati staff. Second down and 4 for Miami. This is Jaworski Lane, and he fumbles. Recovered by the Bengals. Recovered by Terrence Newman. Jaworski Lane with a rare carry, although he has played well out of the fullback position. Rookie from Texas A&M, not able to hang on as he took that shot. Second turnover committed by Miami. It'll be Cincinnati back in possession.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Windows 8 and by the all-new Honda Accord. It starts with you.
Marv Albert, Rich Gannon back in Cincinnati. Off Miami's second turnover. Cincinnati takes over at their 21-yard line. Bernard Scott now in the backfield. Missed all of preseason, missed a couple of games with an injured hand. Floating pass handled by A.J. Green, met by Sean Smith.
We've been talking about how the turnovers have hurt Miami. You just watch Nate Clements. He's always been a good run support player. He's going to put his right shoulder and forearm and helmet right on the ball. Jaworski Lane's got no chance here. He's got to do a better job holding on to it. And you see right there, Terrence Newman is able to scoop it up. 12th turnover already this season for that Miami offense.
4-yard pickup on the pass. A 2-yard pickup on that pass to Green, his first catch of the day. Scott remains in the backfield as Dalton throws sideline, intended for Green. A.J. Green making the Pro Bowl as a rookie last season and was named the AFC Offensive Player of the Month earlier this week. 28 catches now, better than 430 yards. One of the most exciting receivers now in the NFL.
Yeah, Marvin, he gets your attention. I mean, you know, Miami Dolphins can't allow A.J. Green to run through the middle of that secondary.
3rd and 8 with Brian Leonard in the backfield. And Dalton's pass intended for Hawkins, and a flag is down.
Prior to the pass, holding number 24, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It is called on the left corner, Sean Smith. Automatic first down for the Bengals. We just saw referee Walt Coleman on the call, and I mentioned the emotional embrace that you gave him. Walt Coleman was involved in the Tuck Rule game
back in 2001,
right? In which
I was the
Raiders,
quarterback.
Yeah, I came out on the wrong end of.
And the interesting part is he's never officiated a Raiders game since then. How about that?
I thought you were taunting him, though, earlier. This is Bernard Scott breaks tackles. Bernard Scott continues to break tackles and is finally hauled down by Koemisi after going for 29 yards. Bernard Scott coming into today. It is in his one game back in week 3 against Washington, just 3 carries for -5 yards.
Yeah, really poor tackling here. You know, a number of players have a chance to make a tackle. 3 right there, they can't get it done. You know, once you establish your reputation as a top-tier run defense, teams work all week to be that one unit that cracks the nut by running the ball right down your throat. And that's what Cincinnati's going to try and do here today.
Marvin Lewis likes the explosiveness of Bernard Scott. We saw it right there. Gets the call again. He's tough to bring down. Another good run by Scott, this time for 6. Stopped by Kevin Burnett. And we're set for another update. Let's go to JB and Boomer in our New York studios.
Mike Vick not helping his own call.
Not poised to score a touchdown right here from the shotgun. Called running play. He fumbles. That's the 4th turnover inside the red zone for the Eagles this year, the most this season.
The exciting Marv Albert.
All right, JB, Bernard Scott, who has been very exciting in this first quarter, this time picked up 2, setting up a 3rd down and 2 at the Miami 35.
It's kind of interesting to see more of Scott in there as opposed to Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis. And we talked about the issues that Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis has had taking care of the football. And it's the old expression, you don't do a good job taking care of it, they find somebody else who will. And that's just the way this business works.
And Jarvis, Green Ellis is back in there. And looking for the angle, is stopped at the line by Carlos Dansby. Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis had gone 589 straight career combined rushes and receptions without a fumble. In the last 2 games, actually over 30 snaps, he had fumbled 3 times. This will be a 4th down and 2, and Cincinnati will go for it at the Miami 35-yard line. Green Ellis and the fullback Presley in the backfield out of the eye, and Dalton will throw. It is caught for a 1st down and more. Down to the 15, the tight end Jermaine Gresham with the reception on a 4th down play that picks up 20.
Well, they play action pass right at you. You can see Jermaine Gresham. He sneaks right out. Linebackers got their eyes on the wrong spot. They're in the backfield rather than looking at their assignment. Got to have an answer for the Pro Bowl tight end, Jermaine Gresham.
2:45 remaining in this first quarter. Bengals with a 3-0 lead. Bernard Scott now flanks wide to the left. 1st and 10 at the Miami 15. A long look from Dalton. Angles it. It is caught by Hawkins. They get the wraps on him. It's a 5-yard pickup. How about Andrew Hawkins? As you mentioned, goes 5'7", 180 pounds. Spent some time in the Canadian Football League. In fact, playing for the Grey Cup Championship teams in Montreal. Started last year on the practice squad after he was cut by the Rams. After leading Toledo, had an unsuccessful tryout with several clubs. Worked as a caddy for a while in Toledo, and here he is as a standout player in the NFL. 2nd down and 5. And a hard driving move again by Bernard Scott, right at the marker. And let's see where they place the football. It is a 1st down for Cincinnati.
Boy, they're having a lot of success running right up inside at that Miami run defense. And you think about their front 4, it's as good as there is in football right now. And I think that you look at the battle of this offensive line, that defensive line, that's what Joe Philbin said. That's going to be the key. Whether our defensive line, offensive line can win these one-on-one matchups.
Bengals have a 1st and goal at the 4. Scott is in the backfield. And Scott this time is turned around and set back by the free safety Rashad Jones. It's a loss of 3.
And that's the one player you don't have accounted for when you run the ball, the safety. They got hats on everybody else, but not on Rashad Jones. He does a nice job sorting this one out, and he gets a tackle for loss. You see that 0 rushing touchdowns allowed in the last 3 games. They're very, very good, not only in terms of the run defense, but particularly down in this part of the field. Very stingy.
And Jarvis Green Ellis is back. 2nd and goal at the 7. Dalton with time, he throws over the head of Armand Binns, who was well covered.
I was a little worried about this Miami secondary today without Richard Marshall. You got Nolan Carroll playing a lot of snaps, Jimmy Wilson coming in playing the nickel. They've done a nice job matching up with these explosive players they have in Cincinnati with A.J. Green and Binns and Hawkins.
This is the 12th play of the drive that began back at the 21 on that fumble by Jaworski Lane. 3rd and goal at the Miami 7. Dalton throws. It is broken up, intended for Hawkins. Covered by Jimmy Wilson, second-year man from Montana, and got a piece of it.
Well, they've been trying to get the ball to Hawkins. Just a really nice play here by Wilson. Looks like he gets a hand in on that. And Hawkins is tough to cover. He's so quick and fast, and he's got those moves to be able to work in and out and back across the formation.
So here is Mike Nugent attempting from 24 yards away, hit earlier from 42. And he's given the Bengals a 6-0 lead with 13 seconds to go in this first quarter. That field goal set up by another fumble, this time by the fullback, Jaworski Lane. A long drive by the Bengals. They settle for the field goal. Second by Nugent. All 6 points by virtue of Miami turnovers. And another strong kick, and Thigpen will stay right there. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line on the touchback. Well, last week the replacement refs made news with an in-studio call this week. Don't miss New York Giants legend Lawrence Taylor, plus comedian and NFL enthusiast Bill Burr, as they join Phil, Chris, and JB. It's Inside the NFL, Wednesdays only on Showtime.
How about that classy move from Packers head coach Mike McCarthy? Actually reached out and called the official, the referee that officiated that game against them out in Seattle. I just thought that was a really heads-up move by Mike McCarthy.
Daniel Thomas, Jaworski Lane in the backfield, short set by Tannehill, and throws on the run. It is incomplete. Intended for Hartline, covered by the left corner Terrence Newman.
You know, Hartline was targeted 19 times last week against the Cardinals. He caught 12 of them. We talked about that franchise record, 253 yards last week, and in talking to Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator, he said, we got to pay attention to Hartline. He's been effective against everyone he's faced.
Second down and 10. And Thomas able to find a hole. Daniel Thomas, second-year man from Kansas State, brought down by Ray Maualuga as this first quarter comes to a close. After one, the Bengals with a 6-0 lead on the Dolphins will return to Cincinnati after this. Second quarter underway here in Cincinnati, a 3rd down and 5 for the Dolphins from their 25-yard line. Tannehill's pass broken up. Leon Hall, the right corner, knocking it away from the intended receiver, Devon Bess.
Yeah, Miami's struggling a little bit right now in the passing game, Marv, and I think a big reason why is Tannehill having a hard time finding an open receiver. Getting Nate Clements back, getting Leon Hall back from a hamstring injury has really helped settle things down in that Cincinnati secondary.
This is Pac-Man Jones awaiting the punt from Brandon Fields. Fields from his 10. Pac-Man has to backpedal. Here he comes, looking sideline, cuts back. And down he goes with a flag coming in. 59-yard punt, a beauty, and a 10-yard return. Jonathan Amaya, recent addition to the Dolphins squad, makes the tackle.
There's no foul for a block in the back.
So They pick up the flag and is waved off, and Andy Dalton and his Bengals back to the offense. See the numbers on Bernard Scott on a couple of earlier drives, and we're told that he's on the sideline because he hurt his knee. So Benjarvis Green Ellis is back and takes the handoff. We were talking earlier about the 3 fumbles the last 2 games by Green Ellis. Rich, have you seen situations when a player fumbles a number of times that it can become psychological, particularly a guy who never fumbled before in his NFL career?
Oh, absolutely. I think you become very conscientious of it. I think you get reminded of it all the time. Every time you run through the line of scrimmage, those Miami defenders constantly reminding you about the issues over the last couple of weeks. I would say this about him. He's a guy that, has always done a good job protecting the ball in traffic. Very uncharacteristic for him the last couple of weeks.
Had a nice career with the New England Patriots. Dalton couldn't find anyone and just held on and picked up a couple. According to the Elias Sports Bureau, the 589 consecutive touches without a fumble is the longest for the start of a career since 1945, when individual fumbles were first recorded. So what that tells me, he has the NFL record for what it's worth in that department.
Yeah, and I don't think you want to keep reminding him about it in practice. We talked to some of the coaches, and he said, look, he knows what the issues are. He's got to get it straightened out.
3rd down and 5. And Dalton lets loose and completes for a first down. A.J. Green coming up with his 2nd catch. That's good for 11.
Well, it's such a big target for Andy Dalton. He's just going to run the in route up top. He does a nice job with his patience. Right in there working on the safety. Nice job coming back to the throw, knowing that he's got another safety to contend with inside. You see Jones and Clemens doubling him at the top of that route.
Early 2nd quarter, 6-0 Cincinnati lead over Miami. First down at the Bengals' 42-yard line. Green Ellis wrapped up at the 45. Pickup of 3. Shelby and Nisi make the stop. You can get live score updates for all of your favorite teams with the new CBS Sportcaster app, available on select devices. Visit cbssports.com/mobile or text SCORE to 42777 to get the free app. Both these teams playing very fast. Miami with a no huddle. We've seen occasional no huddles by Dalton and the Bengals. Now Dalton on the roll, being chased, and throws it away. And a flag is tossed. Pressure from Kevin Burnett, the outside linebacker, not allowing Dalton to find a receiver.
We've tried some of these play action throws on the early downs, and the Dolphins are doing a really good job in the back end communicating and not being fooled.
Holding, number 84, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So that call on the tight end, Jermaine Gresham.
He's working along with the right tackle, Andre Smith. They're trying to seal that end. Just look on the right side. These two guys are going to work in unison to try and seal the end, and just getting worked back there by Carlos Dansby. See Andy Dalton just trying to throw it away and avoid a sack.
2nd out and 17 for the Bengals. Swing pass to Leonard. Not much there. Tony McDaniel up to make the tackle. McDaniel inactive the last 3 games for Miami, back from arthroscopic knee surgery. Tony McDaniel at 6'7", 305 pounds.
That really helps getting him back and working his way back the last couple weeks. You need that rotation up front. Another big guy inside to go along with Randy Starks and Paul Soliai.
4 wideouts for Cincinnati for this 3rd and 14. This time Dalton with time, and it is incomplete. Intended for Hawkins. So the punting unit will come on. Kevin Huber, 4-year man from the University of Cincinnati, born and raised in this city, averaging 44 yards a punt. And that's Devon Bess back at his 20-yard line. Bengals 3-1. They've won their last 3, including 2 straight on the road. Miami at 1-3, and they come off 2 straight losses in overtime to the Jets in Arizona. Oh, he just did get it off. May have been deflected. And it's a short punt, just 25 yards. So Miami will have excellent field position.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Autotrader.com. Now compare new and used cars and find the best deal on Autotrader.com. Scottrade. See for yourself why so many investors are saying I'm with Scottrade. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
One of the Cincinnati Reds' most popular players, Ted Kluszewski, the statue right outside their ballpark. And it's been an exciting time for Cincinnati sports fans. Bengals off to the good start. Reds easily winning the NL Central, winning last night in the divisional playoff game. Reggie Bush put the brakes on and then gets across the 40, met by Terrence Newman. A 5-yard advance for Bush.
You see some run blitzes early, and that's just what this is. They don't have the end man on the line of scrimmage accounted for. Reggie Nelson, and Reggie Bush there's no reason for him to cut this backside. I mean, he's unblocked. It's a good job getting a couple yards out of that. Reggie Bush has to stay front side when they blitz the backside.
Off the play fake, Lane on the completion for a first down. Beautiful play action by Tannehill.
Really nice play action. You see action away, and Jaworski Lane going to work out into the left flat. That's one thing that Ryan Tannehill does a nice job of, throwing the ball on the move, not only to his right, but to his left as well. That's never easy for a right-handed quarterback.
And he picked up 15 on the play. 1st and 10 inside the Bengals 45-yard line. Bush is driven back. Geno Atkins, the first to get to Bush. No gain on the play.
But it hasn't actually been a very good start for Miami offensively. And look at that, a punt, 3 and out twice, and fumble. And look at time of possession. Cincinnati's held the ball almost twice as long, and 3rd down, of course, has been a problem for Miami. 0 for 2.
Bush, 7 runs, just 17 yards. 2nd down and 10. Dolphins trailing 6-0. Tannehill just fires it downfield. No one in sight. Also took a hit. Dolphins claiming a late hit. And Cincinnati asking for intentional grounding, will not get that call.
This is just inexperience. You're going to see them bring pressure to the left side of Ryan Tannehill. It's coming. And in 2nd and long situations against a Mike Zimmer defense, that's what usually happens. He'll bring pressure in 2nd and long.
3rd and 10 at the Bengal 43. Daniel Thomas in the backfield. This crowd coming to life. And Tannehill fires over the middle. The catch by Charles Clay for a 1st down and more. It's good for 24. Tannehill off balance, throwing from the back foot and able to complete.
Really nice poise. He knows he's going to get hit. He knows they're bringing pressure. He does a nice job sitting in there, keeping his eyes downfield and finding the tight end, down the middle of the field, Clay. Really nice poise by Ryan Tannehill.
1st down at the 19. Again, they go no huddle. Handoff Thomas. And they're able to swarm around him, led by DeMotepeko. Just 2 yards on the play.
I always like watching Domata Peko play. You know, they've got two very good players inside, and Geno Atkins and Domata Peko. And talking to Marvin Lewis, he said he's one of our captains. We've got two very good leaders on this football team. Defensively, it's Domata Peko, and offensively, it's our left tackle, Andrew Whitworth. They kind of run the operation around that facility.
His best friends call him Domata. Pass over the middle. Anthony Fasano down at the 5 has a first down.
Well, you got to be able to find the tight end down in this part of the field, and they really like Fasano. He's just going to post up over the ball. Good throw there by Ryan Tannehill. Never go broke taking a profit. Find that tight end over the ball.
Just writing that down, Rich. First down, inside the 5. Thomas, stopped by Malaluga. Picked up 3 on the play. Daniel Thomas sat out 1 game due to a concussion. He's back in action, a second-year player out of Kansas State.
They typically like to bring in Daniel Thomas in this part of the field. A little bit of a bigger back than Reggie Bush.
Second and goal from outside the 1. They'll have Lane and Thomas in the offset eye. Thomas, touchdown. Daniel Thomas brings it across for the Dolphins.
Well, you know, it hasn't been real pretty for Miami, but they just kept hanging in there. You know, they turned the ball over a couple times. They've got a couple penalties that work against them. The defense has been able to hold them to some field goals, and the offense finally delivers here in the second quarter.
Second touchdown of the season for Thomas. And now Carpenter with the point after. Miami coming from behind to take the 7-6 lead. 9 plays, 63 yards. 9 plays, 63 yards, 4 minutes, 9 seconds. Leading to the touchdown, Brandon Tate back deep. And he'll run it out. Across the 20. And reaching out near the 30-yard line. Nice return for 34 yards. 7-6 Miami. Back in a moment.
It's not just a good time, it's Miller time.
Don't answer that.
You're gonna have to, Alex Cross.
Prepare yourself, detective. Got ourselves a 4 roses.
This guy's ex-military, judging by his tactics.
Dr. Cross, you think you're an expert, but you're really not. By the way, you have a very pretty wife.
I will meet his soul at the gates of hell before I let him take a person that I love.
You're taking this personally.
No!
Alex Cross, rated PG-13, in theaters October 19th. What's more dangerous than one serial killer?
This is not going to end well.
2 of them. No, no, no! A new Criminal Minds then.
We met at the diner where she worked. She was mine. They took her from me.
All this carnage. He knows that I'm coming for him.
All new Criminal Minds and CSI, CBS Wednesday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. And by Applebee's. Try Applebee's new Southwest Flavors 2 for $20 menu all season long. See you tomorrow.
Well, that is a Cincinnati specialty is chili on top of spaghetti with a drop of cheese. You know what you call that? Rich's dinner last night.
No, I wish. Looks really good.
Bernard Scott returns to the backfield. Here is Dalton in the right flat. Green with his third catch, trying to make a move as he battled toward that marker. The ball on the ground. And the officials will determine who recovered it, or was Green back on it. He was looking up at the marker, attempting to pick up a first down.
You got Joe Philbin out here. He's trying to.
Well, Miami says they have it, and they do.
I was just getting ready to say that the Dolphins got to do a better job taking the ball away on defense. You see A.J. Green got the ball away from his body, and I think it gets caught up in Cameron Wake's helmet. That thing's definitely out. Now it's just a big scrum at the bottom of the pile.
And it appears that Chris Clemens made the recovery, the strong safety.
It's a big turnover, huge turnover. There's been a problem around Miami for a while. I've never seen so many players be in a position to make a play and not make it. You need to develop some playmakers who can get the ball out.
And now they'll take a look at it upstairs as they do review all turnovers. We'll be right back. Another review of a turnover.
Well, this is just a little careless on the part of A.J. Green. He's got the ball up way too high. It lands on the top of Cameron Wake's helmet, and then you can see Chris Clemens there scoop it up. The other ball's away from his body. It's actually starting to come out before Cameron Wake even makes that tackle. Talk about protecting the ball in piles. Yeah, I don't think he ever gets the ball back. That comes out, and you see Chris Clemens there. He's still scrapping for it at the bottom of the pile. Joe Philbin had to come in and make sure the officials got this one right. And now new this year, the fans here in the stadium can see the same replays that we see up here in the booth and you see at home. We've been paying very close attention to the replay board here in the stadium.
Miami head coach Joe Philbin very proactive after Miami did not get the benefit of the doubt on some earlier calls.
Now look how the ball's away from his body. And AJ's too good. Look, see how that's hanging out like that? That's as big and as strong as he is.
And apparently they're also checking the exact spot that the ball went down when they resumed play.
Well, he actually gets it back in his possession. I don't know that he cleanly possesses the ball. Still.
After reviewing the play, the ball did come loose from the receiver, but he regained possession, then his right knee was down. It'll be 1st and 10 for Cincinnati at the 39-yard line.
So A.J. Green able to get it back, and the Bengals maintain possession.
Well, you're going to see as he's just going down to the ground. Okay, it's coming out here. Now he loses it. Now somehow he gets it back. Now he's got it back. That knee was down, and then it comes out. So we all saw the ball bouncing around. I never saw that he clearly had possession of it as he was going to the ground. And suppose Walt Coleman and his crew felt that he had possession, and then the knee came down. So a really good break there for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Nice job by A.J. controlling the bobble. You know, he was on the juggling team at his elementary school in Somerville, South Carolina. We'll have more of that later on. Making a change. Bernard Scott in the backfield. And Dalton in trouble, and down he goes. Cameron Wake. Second sack of the day for Miami, and Wake makes it 5.5 for the season. He had 4.5 last week at Arizona.
Well, Andy sees the pressure, sees the blitz, and he audibles to an 8-man protection, and even that's not enough. No answer for Cameron Wake, who's been on a roll here the last 2 weeks.
Kevin Carr, the defensive coordinator, earlier in the season said that Cameron was leaving sacks on the field. That's no longer the case. Second down and 13, an end around by Hawkins. And they saw that coming. Wake makes the stop. It's a 5-yard pickup, 3rd down and 8.
Well, he's always been a very good pass rusher, Cameron Wake, and I think he's really improved as a run stopper as well.
8.5 sacks last season as a linebacker to lead Miami.
And he's back to playing his natural position, that defensive end position, in his 4-3 defense.
Coming up on 5 minutes to go in the half, 3rd and 8 for Cincinnati. 7-6 lead by the Dolphins, and a timeout is called by the Bengals. So we'll take a break. You are watching the NFL on CBS. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon from Paul Brown Stadium, Cincinnati. 3rd and 8 as we resume. Brian Leonard in the backfield for the Bengals. The ball across the 40.
Easy Clipper, go 56, 56. Let's up.
And Dalton angles it. It's a diving catch by Benz, and he coughed it up. It has not been an impressive first half for Cincinnati. Not one of the sharper days for Dalton. A.J. Green put it on the ground a moment ago, but the ruling after looking at the replay that he was able to get back to it. And the signal is Miami ball. Tony McDaniel makes the recovery for the Dolphins.
Well, this all starts with good pressure on Andy Dalton. It comes out a little low. Benz makes an acrobatic catch. Now he's just trying to get up and get forward for the first down. You see Cole Messi knock it out, and Tony McDaniel's able to scoop it up. Another huge turnover for the Dolphins.
All turnovers are reviewed. They will look at this one upstairs. Miami was moving to the line, but they're being held up. We're talking with the Miami coaches yesterday after the 2 straight overtime losses. They say the message to the team was, even though they had played well in both games, that there's no excuse for this. People keep telling them, hey, you're playing good football, but hey, they lost 2 games.
Go!
Reggie Bush going between the tackles for 5.
Well, they've lost a lot of close games too, in back-to-back weeks in overtime, and you go back to 2011, they've got the most losses by 3 points or fewer, and they've lost 7 of those 8 games. They've not been able to finish, and as Joe Philbin said, they've got to find a way to make a critical play late in the game.
I like the way they say we have to rewire the thinking of the team as Bush goes wide and looks for the marker as he heads out of bounds. Vontaze Burfict on the tackle. Looked to be a 4-yard advance, just short, about 1.5 yards short of a first down, and Bush comes up limping.
Yeah, he's been nursing a knee and then a hip as well, and we saw him get banged up against the Jets a couple weeks ago, and I've been saying I don't think he's 100%. He's just not running with the same sense of urgency that we saw from Reggie Bush earlier in the season.
Daniel Thomas replacing Reggie Bush for this 3rd and about 1.5 yards. Thomas stopped by Maualuga. Let's see where they spot it.
Well, when they need some tough yards, they usually run up behind that left side of Richie Incognito and Jake Long. That's really where the experience is.
Always a tough decision as to where you spot the football. and looks to be just short.
Tough decision here. That's going to go for it.
Miami 4th and inches.
We got a big quarterback. How about a quarterback sneak? No snap, no play.
Trying to draw the Bengals offside. They're not going for it. Tannehill tried twice.
Yep, no snap, no play. Now they've got a chance to talk about it.
Timeout is called by the Dolphins. So Miami's second timeout.
Well, they tried hard to get that defensive line to jump. You're going to hear Ryan Tannehill. He's using his best hard count, and just watch the middle of that. Even the center moves. That's illegal. Mike Pouncey flinches. He tries to get Petco to jump in front of him. That could have been called against Mike Pouncey for simulating the snap.
So they'll go for it once again with 4th and inches. Just under 3 to play here in the first half, and it is Lane. Jaworski Lane trying to use his 258 pounds. And again, let's see where they spot it. They come up short, it appears.
Well, they didn't get the kind of movement they were hoping for. Like John Jerry, a little late getting off, and they got pushed back. Well, the right side of the offensive line looked to me like they were late getting off on the snap.
Well, here come the yardsticks. Just to make certain. And yes, they are shorts. It'll be Cincinnati ball. Bengals take over on downs.
Well, just keep an eye on John Jerry right here. He's a little high. And they get underneath him and they walk him back, and you don't get the movement at the point of attack. And you see Reggie Nelson come in around the side. He goes down low on Jaworski Lane. They've got no answer for him as well. Poorly executed short yardage play by the Dolphins.
Cincinnati will start out from their 38-yard line, and Jarvis Green Ellis is back in there. We've seen quite a bit of Bernard Scott, who has run well.
Reggie Nelson has made some plays. He's had nice timely blitzes with him. And a lot of them have been run blitzes on the early downs. And make sure you get him accounted for in the run game.
Green Ellis has carried 5 times for only 7 yards. Short set, Dalton able to complete. The tight end Gresham. See where his forward progress was stopped. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Bill Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Bengals do pick up the first down. Once again, changes from Dalton. Green Ellis, the lone running back, off the hesitation. Dalton guns it sideline. And the catch is caught in bounds. The catch made by Hawkins. What a play at the sideline.
Well, let's see if Hawkins got both feet in bounds. This one was very close.
Miami head coach Joe Philbin had a thought that he might challenge that catch by Hawkins, and apparently someone upstairs said no, he did get the 2 feet in bounds. Don't challenge it. Is a timeout. Now Now 2 minutes remaining in this first half. 2nd down and 5. Dalton able to complete. A.J. Green stopped by Sean Smith. Picked up 3, so shy of a first down.
Well, you go back and you look at the catch from Hawkins and watch the field judge come in the back. He's going to signal no catch. You go back and you look at this. This is great concentration by Andrew Hawkins on the sidelines to get that second foot in.
3rd and 2 at the 44. And Dalton throws up top. It is incomplete, intended for Gresham. So Dalton now 11 of 17, 82 yards.
Well, Andy Dalton had to let go of that before Gresham was even out of the break, and you see A.J. Green limping a little bit. He got brought down kind of awkwardly by Sean Smith on that crossing route.
You see A.J. hobbling back to the sideline. He has been held in check. Sean Smith again has done a nice job, as he did last week against Larry Fitzgerald of the Cardinals, although Fitzgerald didn't have a touchdown reception. Devon Bess is back for the punt. And it is down inside the 5-yard line. Well, coming up on the Verizon halftime report, JV, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, Coach Bill Cowher will have all the highlights. Most of you are aware that the 2 key members of our studio crew, Dan Marino, Boomer Esiason, had glorious careers with Miami and Cincinnati. Now, Rich, our staff has gone deep into the archives to locate footage. We apologize for the grainy black and white texture, but that's all that unfortunately was available. You and I can recall watching Dan and Boomer when we were back in early grade school. Daniel Thomas in the backfield for Miami spins his way, and we saw a host of Marino jerseys still very prominent, being worn by fans of the Dolphins who have made the journey to Miami. We did locate one number 7 up on the 3rd level. That's the jersey count.
Yeah, how about
we
that?
Checked it out.
Those numbers are telling me that 48 here in the stadium, just one Boomer Esiason jersey. That was on the sale rack. There it is.
We checked her out. She's wearing it, she says, not for Boomer, but it's Bengals backup quarterback Bruce Gradkowski. She says she's a big fan of. So actually,
she took the Esiason name off and she had the Gradkowski name sewed on.
Maybe a goose egg. Sorry to report that. There's
the real
Bruce,
number 7.
Yeah. So Cincinnati using that timeout, and that was their finale. With time running down this final minute of the first half, and Miami has a 7-6 lead here in Cincinnati.
We have a low-scoring first half. Both defenses I thought have been outstanding, and I think both quarterbacks right now struggling to find their timing and the rhythm in the passing game.
Reggie Bush, as you mentioned, has not looked 100% physically. That's been a factor. Miami has done a nice job against A.J. Green. And the Dolphins with the 7-6 lead here at the half. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report in just a moment. Dolphins 7 and the Bengals 6, and now time has officially ended in this first half. So back with the halftime after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Halftime in Cincinnati, Miami with a 7-6 lead on Cincinnati Bengals. And now the Droid Razor M play presented by Motorola. Late second quarter on a 3rd and 10. Ryan Tannehill connecting with Charles Clay inside the 20, and this big play led to the only touchdown for either team in the first half. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon, and Rich, we went on the air talking about the explosive big play offense of the Cincinnati Bengals. Folks, it did not occur at all in the first half.
No, we just haven't seen it. You know, you think about A.J. Green, 4 catches but just 26 yards. That Miami secondary's done a nice job containing him and getting good pressure on Andy Dalton. To me, he hasn't looked like himself in the first half.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers from that first half.
Yeah, you talk about the turnovers. Miami just got to do a better job. A turnover down there as they went into score, and of course that Jaworski lane fumble. You got to give Miami's defense some credit. They've done a nice job holding Cincinnati after the 2 turnovers and just 2 field goals, but kind of a defensive battle here through the first 30 minutes.
Dan Carpenter for Miami with the kick. And again, a boomer that is played in the back of the end zone by Pac-Man Jones. So they'll bring it out to the 20.
Well, you look at the quarterback numbers in the first half. Ryan Tannehill, 7 of 10, hasn't thrown the interception. That's a good start for him. And then Andy Dalton, he's been fooled a little bit, I think, at the line of scrimmage. You got to give some credit to Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. He's done a nice job giving them some different looks. Andy trying to change protections and change plays and running out of some time and not really been able to kind of sort out what he's seeing from Miami defensively.
Bengals open up with Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis as the running back. Andy Dalton out of the shotgun formation. Completes to Armand Binns for a Cincinnati first down. That's good for 16 yards. He was brought down by Nolan Carroll. And he is shaken up. Nolan Carroll, who was starting for Richard Marshall. Marshall out with an injured back, so Carroll is the right corner, making only his 5th NFL start. He's back from an Achilles injury and actually began training camp as the 4th quarterback, and here he is in game 5 as a starter.
Yeah, watch Carlos Dansby. Carlos Dansby is going to be the one that hits him, and then of course another shot by Chris Clemens kind of gets sandwiched between 2 of his defenders.
When we come back, first down for Cincinnati.
Today's business travel challenge, Departure Dash. The other airlines versus Southwest. These businessmen are making their way through the airport.
Slow going in security for that other airlines contestant.
Uh-oh, look at their boarding process.
What a muck!
Oh! But the Southwest contestant chose a business select fare. With fly-by security access and priority boarding, he's breezing through.
That other guy's going nowhere fast.
Be unstoppable with Business Select. Business travelers win with Southwest.
Little news, everyone. The little wigs down at corporate are coming in, so I want everyone to think little.
Little is the new big. New KFC Chicken Littles. Get big taste for a little price, just $1.29. This is gonna be little.
Here it is, a cool
Bud Light Lime. It's everything you love about Bud Light, with a twist of 100% natural lime flavor. Bud Light Lime. Summer is calling.
Power was very important to me. We test drove the Camry, took it on the freeway, and it was just like, this was the car for me.
It had stuff that guys liked, like the rims and the sleekness to the body, and then had the Bluetooth and the navigation that Diane really wanted.
And it was an SE, so it felt really grounded to the ground.
Grounded to the ground?
Yes, grounded to the ground.
See their story and more at the Camry Effect. Camry from Toyota.
Monday, could you compete with a superstar? You slept with Derek Jeter.
It was one weekend. 2 weekends.
A new partner, CBS Monday.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Bengals first down from their 36-yard line. Dalton able to throw on the move, and again has the tight end, Jermaine Gresham, stopped by R.J. Stanford and Koamisi. Stanford coming on for Nolan Carroll, who made his way back to the Miami sideline off that collision a moment ago, and apparently it was Kevin Barnett, the outside linebacker, who made contact with Carroll. Looked to be a helmet-to-helmet. Double tight end for Cincinnati. Green Ellis is the running back, a 2nd down and 5. Green Ellis not been able to get much going. Perhaps a yard on the play. And it's Burnett, the outside linebacker, making the tackle. Cincinnati 3-1 coming into today. 3 straight wins, 2 straight on the road. Miami 1 up, 3 down, and lost the last 2 in overtime. Heartbreaking losses, but Rich, as Bill Parcells would say, you are what you are. I don't know if you believe that, but
I do, and you've got to be able to finish. And they've been close the last 2 weeks. They just haven't been able to get it done late in the game.
It's a 3rd and 5. Leonard has come in as the running back. Gold's pass picked off. He threw a bullet, and it was intercepted by Randy Starks. What a difficult play. Starks with his first interception of the season, and Miami takes over.
Just a really alert play by Randy Starks. You talk about a tremendous athlete. He's going to be rushing. He gets blocked pretty good right at the line of scrimmage. You're going to see him over here working back, and then he just jumps up. I mean, that's a tough interception by Randy Starks. I mean, that's a dart. To have the wherewithal to jump up and get 2 hands on it, not only get 2 hands on it, but to bring it down. What a great play by Randy Starks.
Starks, a 9-year man out of Maryland, has played well throughout this season. Reggie Bush now flanked wide to the left side as Miami takes over at the Cincinnati 36-yard line. And the pass intended for the tight end Anthony Fasano.
Well, you look at Starks, he's right there, and just watch him just jump up. And then even he's even screened by the guard in front of him, and he just does a great job not only making the play. It was actually Jeff Fain, the center, but he pulls it down and tries to get a couple yards.
2nd down and 10. Bush try to stutter step, takes to the outside, finds a hole, spins his way across the 25 and a 1st down. There's a flag coming in now. Reggie Nelson makes the tackle.
That's what scares you about Reggie Bush, his ability to kind of stop and start on a dime and then be able to bounce runs backside and find that open hole.
Illegal formation in the offense. Number 77 was the end man on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So that will come back. The left tackle, Jake Long.
Yeah, that's not
called
actually,
on the penalty.
Yeah, that's actually, Jake was uncovered, so the receiver outside him didn't cover him up, didn't get on the line of scrimmage, so that's really more on the receiver than Jake Long. Just poor communication.
So, Rich, that nullifies the best run of the day by Reggie Bush. Tannehill looking deep. Tannehill now throws and completes inside the 15-yard line. It's Devon Bess with the catch and the run. Dolphins a 1st down at the 13.
A really nice job here by Tannehill stepping up. He said he's going to have to move around against these defensive ends, and he buys enough time to give Devon Bess a little extra time in the secondary.
That's good for 28. Now Bess lines up, flank to the left. Bush takes the handoff. Looks to follow the blocker. Cuts back the other way. Touchdown, Miami. Beautiful run by Bush, who suddenly has his legs here at the start of the 2nd half.
And really nice patience there by Reggie Bush. Gets a nice lead block by Javorsky Lane, the fullback, and so really just follows him right around the left side. All set up by that man right there. Randy Starks. A big interception.
13-yard run for the touchdown for Bush's 3rd of the season. And here's Dan Carpenter for the extra point. Miami out in front, 14-6. This is what started it, a spectacular interception by defensive tackle Randy Starks, leading to this. Reggie Bush takes it in. As you can see, players and officials wearing the pink gear today as part of the NFL's A Crucial Catch campaign, which supports the American Cancer Society. The goal to raise awareness around the importance of annual screenings, particularly for women over 40. The campaign has added significance to Bengals safety Reggie Nelson, whose mom passed away from breast cancer. Reggie working with the Susan G. Komen Foundation to host events in honor of his mother. Miami taking over at midfield. Tannehill fires it. Pass intended for Bess.
Kind of a poor decision there by Ryan Tannehill. This is just a force. I mean, they give him a shot on first down, and if it's not there, find Reggie Bush. You just see Reggie Bush sneaking out into the flat. That's where you got to go with the football. I mean, this guy, he needs to be more involved in the passing game. He can be so dangerous.
Back to the ground for Bush. Able to hurdle one of the Bengals, and looking good, taking a block from Jaworski Lane to unleash to the far side for 6 yards. And Reggie Bush looks like a different player in the second half.
Yeah, he does. He certainly looks like he feels a lot better, and I think that's important. We've been talking about getting him more involved in the passing game, Marv. I just think he can be so dangerous with the ball in space. I mean, you go back to 2006, no running back he has more catches. The guy has almost 350 catches. Tannehill has to get him the ball in the passing game.
And he is now flanked out to the left side, but some confusion, and a timeout is taken. Timeout called by the Bengals. Tonight on 60 Minutes, what Chinese company you've never heard of worries the American government the most? Tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS.
Well, it's been kind of an ugly game. You look at the turnovers, the points off the turnovers, and the punts. And defensively, I think both sides have done a nice job, and it's just a question of who's going to take advantage, who's going to take better advantage of the opportunities from the turnovers. And so far, through the first 30 minutes of this game, it's been the Miami Dolphins.
The numbers on Ryan Tannehill: 8 for 13, 129 yards. Looking at a 3rd and 4. A double pump and then connects with Hartline. A beautiful catch, and a flag is down. Very little space to work that pass to Hartline. It's good for 7, but let's see what this flag involves.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, 58, defense. That penalty's declined. Play results in a first down.
Saw the middle linebacker, Ray Maualuga.
A really nice protection here allows Brian Hartline the opportunity to work down the field. You see the natural screen there. Newman can't get in there. Clements has to come in, and where they've really struggled is in the middle of the field with their pass defense. That's better play from the linebackers and safeties is what they need.
Bush trying to make the turn. No gain on the play. Terrence Newman, the left corner, was there along with Wallace Gilberry from the front 4.
Every once in a while you watch Reggie Bush, Marvin. You know, if it's not there, even falling forward, you know, in the hole will get you a yard or two rather than bouncing it back so much and losing a yard or two. That's kind of what's hurt Reggie Bush now over the last 2 weeks. Looking for the big run as opposed to just the positive run.
Back in week 2, he ran for 172 yards against the Raiders, then got hurt in that game against the Jets.
You see everybody up the line of scrimmage here defensively.
2nd down and 10, a stumbling handoff by Tannehill, and here comes the flag as Bush is taken down by Vontaze Burfict.
Illegal shift on the offense, number 41. 5-yard penalty.
That's called on the fullback, Javarsky Lane.
You got an 8-man front here. You've got man-to-man coverage on the outside. This is an ideal look for Ryan Tannehill to change from a run to a pass, and he checks to the run, and they're just one short. And he's done such a good job of getting out of bad plays. You can't imagine he was fooled by that when he saw the single high safety, the press man-to-man coverage on the outside. When he has that, he's got to take advantage of this matchup right down here with Hartline against the corner, Terrence Newman.
Daniel Thomas returns to the backfield. Here they come. Tannehill just did get it away to Thomas. And Thomas runs for the first down. A little shovel pass to Thomas, who was taken out by Geno Atkins. Connects on the screen. That's good for 9.
Really nice job. You see everyone up in the box. They're going to bring pressure, and you've got the ideal play called. You've got a blitz, and they sneak the screen out. It's just the perfect call in the right situation. Ryan Tannehill does a nice job drawing the rush before he lets go of that ball.
Apparently, Thomas was taken out by Atkins short of the first down, so the field goal attempt by a man who's certainly had his ups and downs as of late, a 46-yard try for Dan Carpenter, and this one is good. Carpenter missed last week from 51, and that had his troubles in the previous game.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Charles Schwab. Let's talk about giving your portfolio a better chance to grow. Talk to Chuck. And by Toyota Care, caring for you and your car.
"17 unanswered points by the Dolphins, and they have a 17-6 lead on the Bengals. Brandon Tate back deep for the kick return. He had a career highlight a couple of years ago against Miami in a Monday night game in South Florida, but not this time playing for New England. He began the second half with a 103-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. A reminder, tomorrow, the broke girls get robbed, but money isn't the only thing they lose. And new Two Broke Girls tomorrow at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Nolan Carroll is back for the Dolphins at his right quarterback spot. He's been playing for the injured Richard Marshall. And Jarvis Green Ellis in the backfield. And he takes a hard hit, not able to make the move. He's stopped by the free safety Rashad Jones, lost 2 on the play.
Well, you talk about a great tackle by Rashad Jones. And the back's got nowhere to go with the ball. You're just going to see him come screaming up the top of your screen. Just watch him fill right in the middle here. Boom.
Dalton standing in, no pressure, able to swing it out. The tight end Gresham, short of a first down. Jared Odrick makes the stop. Picked up 11 on the play. Been a very quiet game for A.J. Green. Obviously well covered. We're seeing quite a bit of Dalton to Gresham, Dalton to Binns.
I think Sean Smith doing a really nice job on A.J. Green right now up top.
Third and a yard. Dalton's pass incomplete. Intended for Green. Covered by Sean Smith.
Right, coming off of that career high 2 interceptions last week against Arizona. You see him on A.J. Green. I thought he did an outstanding job last week on Larry Fitzgerald, and talking to Kevin Coral, the defense coordinator, he thought it was his best game as a Dolphin. He was going to need another strong performance like that again here today. He's been really solid on A.J. Green.
5th punt for Huber. And this is best of the day. Thick pen. Going sideline and take it out of bounds. 56-yard punt. Cedric Pierman makes the stop. Miami up 17-6. Andy Dalton leading the conversation. That's the backup quarterback, Bruce Gradkowski. You used to have that hat, I recall.
Always.
Go, go!
Reggie Bush able to roll his way close to the 30. Robert Gathers makes the stop. Just picked up 2 on that play.
Well, the one thing about Miami, they're staying after a little bit with the running game. I thought they got away from it a little bit last week. And, of course, a lot of that because Arizona playing a lot of heavy 8-man fronts. But they need balance. That's something that Joe Philbin talked to us about last night. We have to be balanced offensively. We can't have our young quarterback throwing it 45 times against this defense.
Once again, Tannehill out of the gun. And a short pickup. Anthony Fasano, the tight end by way of Notre Dame, makes the catch, picked up 4. Mamaluga makes the tackle.
Well, that's one matchup I thought they'd really go after. Mamaluga has been struggling a little bit in terms of his pass coverage, and got a good tight end like Fasano. Get him matched up on that middle linebacker over the ball.
This crowd getting the Cincinnati defense pumped up.
I got you, I got you.
Good protection. Tannehill going sideline. He has Hartline, who had been quiet, and it's a first down. Terrence Newman on the coverage, and that's a 30-yard pickup.
Well, this is a really nice adjustment by Brian Hartline. He's going to run the comeback, and when he sees his quarterback scramble, then he takes off down the sideline. Terrence Newman's caught with his eyes in the backfield. We talk about the scramble drill. That's a perfect example of it by Brian Hartline.
4th catch, 59 yards for Hartline, and a first down for the Dolphins.
48, go!
Tannehill going deep. Intended for Bess, who drew double coverage down by the end zone. Leon Hall, Nate Clements on the play, and brings up a 2nd and 10.
We've been talking about how the Bengals have struggled to get the ball to A.J. Green. Well, Miami's had a hard time getting it to Hartline as well. Of course, that last catch was the big one, but just 4 catches from him today.
Hey, lead 51.
I think both teams have done a good job rotating coverage and helping these corners with some safety help over the top.
48, go!
Daniel Thomas returns to the backfield, but Tannehill looking to throw, and he's taken down. It is Geno Atkins. That is his 2nd sack, number 7 on the season.
You just watching the middle of your screen there. He's going to be working against the right guard, John Jerry, and he just beats him. I mean, that's a Pro Bowler in Geno Atkins. His philosophy is simple. He just wants to outwork, out-hit, and outrun the opponent. He doesn't take plays off.
What a year for Geno. A Florida guy out of Pembroke Pines. 3-year man from Georgia. It's a 3rd down and 19 now for the Dolphins. Completed in the flat to Fasano. Short of a first down. Pac-Man Jones is right there. Gain of 12.
Well, it's a really nice play by Ryan Tannehill. Really a heady play. You got 3rd and a bunch, and you check it down to Fasano. Now you at least give your field goal kicker Dan Carpenter a chance.
This will be a 53-yard attempt, hit from 46 moments ago. Last week missed from 51 in the game against the Cardinals. And this one is no good. Wide left. All right, let's go to New York, set for an NFL update. JB and Boomer.
The education of RG3. Go to the Rich Gannon School of Quarterback, and he says, get to the sideline, get out of bounds. Don't take unnecessary hits. And RG3 takes one right here from Sean Weatherspoon, and I mean, this is a vicious hit. He's on the sideline getting stitches. Then they take him back into the locker room. That's where he is right now. 10-7, Skins over the Falcons.
Now, we know Rich was a good runner as well, but he did get out of bounds, didn't
Yes,
he, Boom?
he did.
All right, Marv and Rich.
Well put, JB.
Boomer, they didn't tell me twice. I learned early. I learned by watching the older guys.
First and 10 for the Bengals. Hawkins picked up 3 on the play. Well, we were talking with Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator for the Miami Dolphins, who was a defensive coordinator with Holy Cross when he went up against your Blue Hens of Delaware, and he's so proud to point out as to how his Crusaders knocked off Delaware. You look like you were huffing and puffing on that last run.
Running for my life.
4 wideouts. It is completed to Green. Cincinnati with a first down. Sean Smith makes the stop.
Well, you can see Kevin Coyle there, the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins, who spent 11 years here as an assistant coach on Mike Zimmer's defensive staff, and he's got great familiarity, obviously, with the personnel. And I think there's some striking similarities to what Andy Dalton has seen. This is a defense that's very similar to what he sees in practice every day with the Cincinnati defense.
So Green, 5 catches, just 37 yards. And Dalton connects on the right flat to Green, but these have basically been short pickups for AJ, who is a guy who has exploded in the past, and obviously it all began in his rookie season and then on to first 4 games this year. But still much time remaining here this afternoon.
And we talked in the open about the explosive plays, and we just haven't seen them from this Cincinnati offense.
Second and 6, little shovel pass. Hawkins broke tackles, has a first down. He is so dangerous. Jimmy Wilson was able to get to Hawkins, but Hawkins running it for 10.
And you're just finding creative ways to get the ball in the hands of Hawkins. Little shovel pass. He's averaging 23 yards a catch. He's slippery and quick and fast and hard to tackle in the open field.
So you look at a guy like Hawkins and you wonder, how was he cut by several teams?
Well, I think you look at his size, you get labeled, and it took him a while to kind of find his way in the NFL, but.
Pass from Dawkins, right on target for Green, and then he coughed it up, and apparently is able to recover. That's good for 17 and a first down.
Well, we talk about the back shoulder throw, and good coverage here by Sean Smith. Very difficult pass to defend when it's purposely underthrown, and you see Smith trying to get that ball out. It's on the ground again. A.J. Green has been careless with the ball today.
And Jarvis Green-Ellis back on the field. First and 10 inside the 15-yard line for the Bengals. Trying to get back into it. They're down 17-6. Dalton with a long look. And now he'll run inside the 10 and taken down at the 5. Rashard Jones able to get to him. Andy Dalton picks up 7.
And they're going to jump the ball. Makes this very difficult for Kevin Coyle, the defensive coordinator, to make any substitutions or to dial up his different pressures.
Second down and 3 outside the 5-yard line. But Jarvis Green-Ellis trying to power his way. Let's see where they spotted. He needed 3 for a first down, which would make for a first and goal. As this third quarter is winding down.
They're going to try and jump the ball again and get another playoff here before the end of the third quarter.
Down to 2, down to 1, and that'll do it. So that is the end of the third. Miami 17, Cincinnati 6. We'll be back in Cincinnati in a moment. Bengals looking to get back into it. 9 plays, 57 yards. A.J. Green with the touchdown catch. Marcus Thigpen is back for the kickoff. First-year player from Indiana who's done well, averaging 25 yards a return. That's among the top in the league. And this one is put beyond his reach. Well, we talked about this earlier. A.J. Green telling us Friday after practice that he was on the juggling team at his elementary school in South Carolina, which has helped, he feels, hand-eye coordination. We asked A.J. to give us a demonstration with our crew offering up their cell phones. Excellent production value. Little carnival music from our creative department. An extraordinary performance by A.J. And that was one take, Rich. He went right into it. Said he learned to juggle baseballs and various props as early as second grade. As Miami starts out from the 20, Bush is flanked out to the right side. Empty backfield for Tannehill. Once again making changes. And throws the middle. It is bobbled and dropped by Charles Clay. Now, bobbling is not juggling. I'd like to tie that in. First of all, Rich, who has a juggling team?
I've never even heard of it. You can tell why that one surprises Clay, gets right in on him, but you can see why A.J. Green catches the ball so naturally in his hands. Maybe we got to get our guy Charles Clay to juggle some.
Here's Bush, trying to run to his left, try to cut back, and down he goes. Reggie Nelson, the free safety, able to stay right with him. It's a loss of 2. Incidentally, a tip for you youngsters out there. A.J. started out with scarves and then moved on to baseball.
Scarves, balls.
You know, scarves get it, Rich. More, it's slower.
And then balls,
through the air.
And then rings, and then bowling pins. And then cell phones.
Right. How is your cell phone after he grabbed it?
He didn't even drop it.
Third down and 12, back at the 18. Tannehill with a sidearm shovel to Bush. Nothing there. And the Bengals have come alive at both ends. Dunlap and Johnson combining to make the tackle. The punting unit will come on for Miami. Pac-Man Jones is back behind his 40-yard line.
Well, you just feel the momentum start to turn here a little bit. A big scoring drive by Cincinnati, and then a really nice stop on defense. And now what you think is going to be very good field position here for the Bengals after this punt.
Good one by Fields. Pac-Man eluding a couple of Dolphins. Going sideline and wrapped up and dropped by the punter, Brandon Fields. 47-yard punt and a 15-yard return.
Yes is sponsored by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Farmers. Find a knowledgeable local farmers agent at farmers.com. We are insurance. We are farmers. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Not exactly the Madden Cruiser.
No, it's not. But if you're a Bengals fan, it looks pretty cozy.
Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis in the backfield. As Andy Dalton goes to work and was nearly picked off. Pass intended for Hawkins. Nolan Carroll on the cover. So Dalton is now 21 of 33, 164 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Well, Carroll reads this the whole way. Just gets in on him, but he wasn't fooled by that route at all. Just good anticipation by Nolan Carroll.
Second down and 10 at midfield. 4 wideouts for the Bengals. 2.5 gone by, fourth quarter. Dalton able to stand in, now chased, and runs for the first down. Covered up by Sean Smith, 12-yard scamper for Dalton. Join the NFL and the American Cancer Society in the fight against breast cancer by supporting a Crucial Catch campaign. Visit NFL.com/auction and you can bid on authentic NFL pink gear worn by players and coaches. First down, Cincinnati. Ball at the Miami 40. And Jarvis Green Ellis trying to squeeze his way. Goes for 5. The outside linebacker, Kevin Burnett, making the tackle.
You talked to Mel Tucker, the defensive coordinator, last week in Jacksonville, and Kevin Coyle here in Miami. They all say the same thing about Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. It's not flashy, but he just always seems to find a way to get those tough yards up inside.
His 4 years with the Patriots, a solid short yardage and red zone back. Play action. Dalton being pursued through sideline. Catch was made out of bounds by Green Ellis. Covered by Misi. So it brings up a 3rd and 5 as you look at Andy Dalton. Last season became the first rookie quarterback not selected in the first round, a second-round pick, to start all 16 games and lead his team to the playoffs, stepping in following the departure of Carson Palmer, and did an excellent job, made the Pro Bowl, lost in the playoffs to the Houston Texans. Leonard in the backfield. Again, the chase for Dalton, and they swallow him up. Sack number 3 for Miami.
They do a nice job. You know, they've been rushing a lot of 5- and 6-man rushes. You just watch the front, and you look at the coverage on the back end. I mean, where are you going to throw this ball if you're Andy Dalton? I mean, there's no one to throw it to. This is just a good job coordinating the rush with the coverage on the back end.
The sack by Cameron Wake, who now has a sack and a half for the game. Bess, let it go. Cincinnati downing it inside the 5. They kept it out of the end zone. What a play by the Bengals special teamers. 40-yard punt. They would not allow that ball to end up in the end zone. Look at that right there. It's Jeremy Miles making the play.
Miami is challenging the ruling on the field, but the ball is dead at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, I think the question here that Joe Philbin wants us to know is whether or not Jeremy Miles' heel touches the goal line. You get a good look at it. So just keep an eye on Jeremy Miles' his right heel. And to me, it looks like that's on the line. So then, therefore, he's not eligible to knock that ball back in. I think that's going to be a touchback. And that's the same picture that the coaches from Miami were looking at up in the booth.
So right now the ball spotted at the 3. But if Miami gets the call, they move it out, as you mentioned, to the 20.
Joe Philbin hasn't had a lot of luck today with calls going his way.
He's been out there on the field discussing things with your good friend, Walt Coleman.
You get a look here again at Jeremy Miles right there at that right foot. That's really close, but it looks to me like the right heel touched the line first. You get a good look at it right there. It looks like that heel is on the line. Then it comes back off.
There is Jeremy Miles. Good effort by Miles, 3-year man from UMass. Backup safety. We're showing it on the screen above. We have 10:34 remaining in this fourth quarter. Miami with a 17-13 lead. Miami had rolled off 17 unanswered after the 2 early field goals by Mike Nugent. And now Cincinnati back with that touchdown pass to A.J. Green to get back into it, as the Bengals try to make it 4 straight wins at 3-1. Miami coming off the 2 overtime losses to drop to 1-3.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field stands.
Whoa.
Miami is charged with their first team timeout.
So Miami gets charged a timeout. It's not been a favorable day in terms of challenges for Joe Philbin and his Dolphins.
No, it hasn't. You know, Joe Philbin's been talking all week, though, Marv, about what? About finishing games, about overcoming adversity on the road. Gonna get an opportunity right here. This is a big possession for the Dolphins. Backed up, coming out of their own end zone.
Dolphins start out at their 3. Daniel Thomas in the backfield with the fullback Javorsky Lane. Off the play fake, Tannehill able to complete to Lane. Took a pretty good hit. Newman and Maualuga combining to make the stop on Lane. Picked up 5. Whoa.
Wow. Ray Maualuga.
Newman went leg first on the 258-pound Lane. Second down and 5, the ball up at the 8. And on the handoff, Thomas with a short pickup, maybe 4. Daniel Thomas, an injury hit rookie a year ago, a second-round pick out of Kansas State. Seen quite a bit of action behind Reggie Bush. They're trying to use Reggie in spots. He's picked it up in the second half. Double tight end now for the Dolphins. 3rd and about a yard. Thomas trying to squeeze it through the tackles. Stopped by Pecco and Burfict, and picked up the first down.
Sometimes you're better off going for the tackle rather than trying to get the ball out. You see Maualuga there. He's just trying to rip the ball out. Really nice second effort there by Daniel Thomas.
So they get out of the big trouble. They're up at the 15-yard line with just under 9 remaining in this 4th quarter, trying to hold on to the 17-13 lead. Thomas. 5-yard advance. Nelson and Burfict making the tackle.
Well, there's some really good opportunities on the early down to take advantage of the one-on-one coverage. Cincinnati's been very aggressive on the early downs, trying to get the extra safety up around the line of scrimmage. It's been Reggie Nelson most of the day. You see him again here.
Off the roll, Tannehill able to complete. It is a first down and more for Devon Bass. So Bass, who is an excellent 3rd down receiver, goes for 22. In fact, he is in the top 5 in 3rd down receiving yards.
Yep, and then they're just going to sneak out Bess. And he just runs right by him. You see Reggie Nelson comes and they sneak out Devon Bess in the flat, taking advantage of the aggressiveness of that Cincinnati defense.
Dolphins a first down at their 41-yard line, and Reggie Bush has returned. Incomplete, intended for Bush, but a flag comes flying. Dan Scooter
number 51, defense, 5-yard penalty.
on the coverage, and it is
first
Scooter.
down.
Scooter called on the penalty. There he is, 4-year man from Grand Valley State.
You see him just get Reggie Bush out, and he's just going to grab him as Reggie tries to cross his face. And that's where I really think this offense can be a whole lot better. Getting Reggie Bush more involved in the passing and taking advantage of those matchups with him on a linebacker or safety in the middle of the field.
Thomas. This time stopped by Malaluga. Thomas has done a nice job. He's come on for the most part prior to this series and third down scenarios, but Daniel Thomas, 10 carries, 29 yards, and he is hurt.
He's been more deliberate. You know, you look at Reggie Bush, he's kind of the guy that bounces it around. You look at Daniel Thomas, he's the one that's one cut and it's going to smack it up in there. Much more decisive. Totally different styles when you look at Daniel Thomas and Reggie Bush.
We're talking about the 2 straight overtime losses suffered by Miami. And over the past 2+ seasons, Dolphins only 2-10 in games decided by 3 points or fewer. Here's another look.
A big hit again by Ray Malaluga. And he just walks him right back.
The other part of the equation, Rich, with the losses in close games, the kicker, Dan Carpenter, just 10 for 25 on field goals of 46 yards or longer. And he has had his difficulties down the stretch.
We saw him miss a couple against the Jets a couple weeks ago that cost him an opportunity to win that game.
Bush is back. Bush and now Clay in the backfield. Clay is a wide receiver, but they do light him up in the backfield. Goes to Bush. He was looking for the hole off the right side, try to spin, but it's Atkins making the stop and a loss of a yard.
Well, the one thing you do see from Ryan Tannehill is just in terms of his body language, his confidence and his demeanor. He reminds me a little bit of Andy Dalton as a rookie. Extremely poised, not at all phased when he makes a mistake or when things don't go well around him. And I think that's very unusual for a young player at that position.
3rd down and 10. Miami has it at their 46-yard line. Bush remaining in the backfield. He's to the right of Tannehill. Tannehill's pass, it's broken up. Bess had it, took a jarring hit, and was not able to hold on. Adam Pac-Man Jones coming up with a big play.
Talk about Adam Jones just recognizing he's actually covering the outside player. He comes off because he route reads that. He sees the inside seam going to Devon Bess. Just a nice alert play by Adam Jones.
So the punting group makes its return. Brandon Tate awaits back behind his 10. And Brandon Fields will boot it. Carries into the end zone. So the Bengals will start out at the 20. It's a 53-yard punt. 17-13 Miami.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Whatever you want to do, Droid does. And by Subway. Get a free 6-inch sub when you buy any 6-inch sub and a drink.
They're back here in Cincinnati. You got a good look at Andy Dalton. He has been red hot in the 4th quarter. You look at those numbers. He's got the best 4th quarter passer rating through the first 4 weeks in the NFL. Look at those numbers. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And as this game has progressed, Andy Dalton has come on. Got off to a shaky start on the screen. Leonard picking up blockers, lost the ball. And they say he was down. Ends up as a 16-yard pass play. So Cincinnati will maintain protection, or rather possession.
You just watch him at the end of this play. Yeah, that thing comes out when he's on the ground. Even still, if you're Brian Leonard, you don't want to put that on film.
Yeah. 1st down. Cincinnati at its 36. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining, 4th quarter. Good protection. Dalton's pass is caught for another Cincinnati 1st down. Armand Binns for 12. Ben's fourth catch of the day. 4 for 41. See the numbers on Dalton. They stay with Leonard as the running back.
Easy. Rolex, Dale. Rolex. Light 359. I'll take off.
Checkoffs by Dalton, making changes. And he flips it downfield. The leaping catch by Andrew Hawkins. That's good for 24. And the fifth catch by Hawkins.
I don't know why Andy Dalton wants to throw him so high to Hawkins, who's only 5'7", but what an incredible catch. A one-handed catch by Andrew Hawkins. We're talking about Andy Dalton and how good he has been late in games.
First down at the 28 in Miami territory. He fires one that is incomplete. Hawkins in the area. Talking with Marvin Lewis the other day, he said he first saw the poise of Andy Dalton at the Senior Bowl in Mobile. He was one of 5 of 6 quarterbacks and wasn't in the spotlight, which he thought was good for Andy, but he has shown so much poise under pressure, has impressive presence. Much of the same as you mentioned that can be said about Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, nothing seems to bother Andy Dalton.
Leonard is to the near side. Dalton over the middle. Short pickup for Green. Picked up 5. Took the umpire with him.
He's trying to use the umpire as a lead blocker. Unfortunately, the umpire was going backwards and not forward. Watch this umpire. He's just trying to get out of the way. All of a sudden, he's got A.J. Green coming at him. He's got a slew of Dolphin defenders. We get caught in piles around the big boys.
That was Roy Ellison who felt the contact. 3rd down and 5. And Dalton's pass off the mark through a flutter ball in the direction of Tate. And you see he's upset with himself. 4th and 5 at the 23. And they're bringing on Mike Nugent.
Well, this is the right call. You've got 3:05 left and 2 timeouts, and your defense has been playing much better here in the second half. You've got a 4th and 5. I think this is the right call by Marvin Lewis.
A 41-yard attempt. He's hit from 42. He's hit from 24.
He missed it.
And misses this one from 41. And here's it from this crowd, so Miami remains on top by 4.
Well, either way, they need another score. And, we've been talking about Miami. This is your opportunity. You've got 3 minutes left. Finish on offense. Put together some first downs. They've lost 2 back-to-back heartbreaking losses in overtime.
First miss this season for Nugent, who had connected on his previous 9 out of 9. Dolphins take over at their 31-yard line with 3 minutes to play in the 4th. Reggie Bush in the backfield. Tried the middle. Met by Clements. About a yard on the play, and a timeout is taken by Cincinnati. That is their first timeout of this second half. Well, nobody knows the game like a quarterback. Don't miss Rich Gannon, Phil Simms, Steve Berline, and special guest Dan Fouts on NFL Monday Quarterback. That's tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. It'll be a 2nd down and 9 for Miami at their 32. Marv Albert along with Rich Gannon. You see just under 3 minutes to play in this 4th quarter. Bush remaining as the lone deep back. Tannehill on a short drop, and it is incomplete. Intended for Charles Clay, was covered by Nate Clements, the strong safety.
They've not been able to beat man-to-man coverage enough today against this Cincinnati secondary. They've had some really good looks, some one-on-one matchups. You've got to give the edge to Cincinnati, the corners. They have done an outstanding job containing Devon Best and most especially Brian Hartline.
Huge play here, a 3rd down and 9. Tannehill's pass floats high and wide, but flag is down. It was intended for Brian Hartline. It will be interference on Terrence Newman.
23 defense. Will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
It is on Newman, the left corner.
Well, he's definitely pushing him, but watch Hartline. He's not even looking for the ball. Look at his head. He's not even looking for it. There was absolutely no reason for Terrence Newman to panic in that situation.
First down for Miami at their 47-yard line with 2:45 to go in the 4th. Hartline is now flanked to the right. Bush and Clay in the backfield, so that in effect a 16-yard penalty against the Bengals. Bush with the hesitation move goes for 3, met by Leon Hall, the right corner. And a timeout is taken here by Cincinnati, and that is their final timeout aside from the 2-minute warning. And as you see, Miami with 2 timeouts left. Well, coming up next, Peyton Manning and the Broncos battle Tom Brady and the Patriots, or the Bills taking on the Niners, or the Titans and the Vikings. Check your local listings. Good one here going down the stretch. The action picking up in the second half following the 17 consecutive points by Miami after those 2 field goals by Mike Nugent of Cincinnati, and we've come down to 2:39 left and a 17-13 lead for the Dolphins. 2nd and 7 at midfield for Miami. Bush and Lane in the backfield, lined up in the eye. Bush trying to follow Lane. Good job by the Bengals. Stopped by Pecco. No gain on the play, and that will bring us down to the 2-minute warning.
It'll just run this thing all the way down, and Cincinnati's left with no timeouts, and Miami in a critical 3rd down situation.
So on the line, the Bengal 3-game win streak. Miami trying to turn it from the 2 consecutive losses in overtime. Back in Cincinnati, and what may be the play of the game. 2 minutes to go. 3rd and 8 at midfield for Miami. They lead Cincinnati 17-13. Off the play fake. Clay running for the marker. And it appears he came up short. He was cut off by the free safety, Reggie Nelson. Brings up a 4th down at about 2. Marv Albert, Rich Gannon from Paul Brown Stadium. 3-game win streak on the line for Cincinnati. Miami hoping to come up with its 2nd win of the season following the consecutive overtime defeats. Brandon Tate is back deep. And Brandon Fields will kick it from the 40 for the Dolphins. So the Bengals will have one more chance. Fields Try to keep it in play and could not. Lands in the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. It's a 45-yard punt. But they'll start out from the 20.
Well, after a couple of field goals by the Bengals, the Dolphins come right back with a touchdown run from Daniel Thomas. Turnovers have been a big story in this game, really, from both teams. Miami been able to capitalize with the Reggie Bush touchdown run. And, of course, Cincinnati comes back with a nice fade throw from Andy Dalton to A.J. Green in the back corner of the end zone to make the score Miami 17, Cincinnati 13.
Here are the Bengals to the line, led by their center, Jeff Fain. 1st and 10 from the 20. Leonard in the backfield. Dalton will throw, sidearm, completes as the tight end Jermaine Gresham made the catch for a first down, good for 13. Gresham has been a favorite target. That's his 5th catch for 60 yards.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to that 3rd down throw to Clay, and not only don't they get the first down, but you know, Charles doesn't even have the wherewithal to stay in bounds. There's a big stoppage right there on 3rd down.
Minute 39 remaining in this 4th quarter. From the 33, Dalton with time, and it's broken up. Pass intended for Binns, and it was Nolan Carroll, who is starting for the injured Richard Marshall at right corner, who got a hand on it.
Marv, he has really played well today. You talked about the injury to Richard Marshall, and he's just made some big plays back there. Just good alert plays. He's done a nice job seeing throws from Andy Dalton and getting his hands on them.
Down to 1:35 to play. 2nd down and 10 at the Bengal 33.
And they show you this look. 7 men up. Sometimes they come, sometimes they drop.
Dalton able to hang in, and that pass is broken up. Olivier Vernon able to make the stop, but a flag is down. Vernon got his hand on it.
Holding, number 62, offense, 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
It is on the Bengals center, Jeff Fain.
Well, Miami has done a really nice job crowding the line of scrimmage with those linebackers up in those A-gaps between the center and guard, and then you can't tell if you're Andy Dalton. Are they coming? Are they dropping? They bring them from one side, they drop the other. It's been a very confusing look here for Cincinnati most of the day.
Miami's outside linebacker, Kevin Burnett, shaken up. He's over on the Miami sideline. 2nd down and 20 for Cincinnati from their 23. Dalton's pass intercepted. Picked off by Rashad Jones, the free safety. A pass intended for Andrew Hawkins. It'll be Miami ball with 1:22 to play in this 4th quarter.
Well, they've been playing so much 2-man coverage where they're playing man-to-man on the inside receivers in the slot, and they know they've got help over the top. And so what's happening is they're trying to fit the ball to Hawkins, and they've got help with the safety over the top, and then they've got a corner that's going to be trail technique. This is a very difficult ball to fit in. You've got to get it above the nickel and below the safety. You're throwing it to your smallest receiver in Andrew Hawkins.
3rd turnover by the Bengals. Dalton with 2 interceptions. There's been 1 fumble. And Miami will look to run it down. You see the clock going. Bengals out of timeouts.
You think about Miami, they're, you know, Marby said they could be 2 plays away from being a 3-1 football team. The one thing that shows up when you watch the tape is this team plays hard. And that's, I think, what Joe Philbin has been most proud of through the first 5 weeks of the season. They're just 2-3, but they're going to be a much better team each week. They just fight. They fight to the finish in every game they've been in through the first 5 weeks.
Next week, they're home for St. Louis. Rams beating the Cardinals Thursday night. Then the bye week followed by games at the Jets, at Indianapolis, while Cincinnati next week at Cleveland, then home for Pittsburgh. The Dolphins bouncing back from the 2 straight overtime losses. They go to 2-3. Bengals had won 3 straight. They're now 3-2. Dolphins continue historically their success against Cincinnati. They've won 11 of the last 13 against the Bengals. Again, the final score, Miami 17 and Cincinnati 13. Tannehill 17 for 26, 223 yards. Dalton finished 26 of 43 for 234. Reggie Bush running 19 times for 48 yards. Coming up next, Game 2 of the NFL on CBS doubleheader. Thanks to producer Ross Schneiderman, director Andy Goldberg, spotter Mike Bazemore, a statistician Russ Glenn. For Rich Gannon, this is Marv Albert saying so long from Cincinnati. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, the NFL Today update presented by Farmers Insurance. We take you to New York for all the scores and highlights.